As a football manager, which I struggled for a very long time, was preseason and getting it right. In the early days, I'd often assign it to the assistant manager, let him look after the staff hiring, let him look after the training, and it wasn't optimal, shall we say. So I'm going to go through from start to finish what I do for preseason, from when I first take over a club right up to the first game of the season, to ensure that my players are in optimal condition before the first game.
Oh, Louis van Gaal is out having angry words with Mike Dean and reenacting what he thinks he's just seen.
So this is typically how I'd set up for a save. I normally manage in the Premiership, usually taking a lower end team, and this setup suits me perfectly. What I want to bring your attention to is the game start date over here on the right hand side. Now, as you can see, we're set up to start on the 3rd of August. Now, if you're managing in any country that has work permit issues, that's going to be a problem, because when you're hiring your staff, by the time the work permits go through, it'll be maybe a week, 2 weeks if you're lucky, before the first game of the season, before you've all your staff actually in the club and doing their job. So what we do to overcome this is we're going to add, for England, we're going to add the Bulgaria League. Now we're going to have the Bulgaria League on view only. And when you go over here and you change your start date to Bulgaria, you can actually start on the 12th of July. That gives you an extra month to get all your staff in and get all organised for any of the players come back from their pre-season holiday. Now we've decided to take over at Brighton. Eventually you're going to get to this screen once you select your manager and your stats and all that fun stuff. For me, I hate press conferences, so we're going to say no to that straight away. The intra-squad friendly, I tend to say no to this as well, because it kind of upsets your system for pre-season. And you'll see later on when I set up my friendlies, having that game in there kind of interrupts the training, and it's just not something I like. And meetings with my backroom staff, I know everything about the game. I don't need their help. With Brighton, our first step is we're going into our staff right away. We're not going to look at tactics. We're not going to look at the players. We're not going to see if we can fit Naipan into our first team, if that's how you pronounce his name. He's a wonder kid. You should probably look him up. Good player. So here we are in our staff screen. Now, if you're extra diligent and very picky, you can fire absolutely everyone here and rehire all your staff.
You're fired!
If you have the patience for that, fair play, but for me, not so much.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
What I'll do is I'll fire the assistant manager, the head of youth development, and all these coaching staff. And that's it. Those are the only ones I'm firing. So once you've terminated all your staff, as you can see here, I do have a goalkeeping coach there because I misclicked and cancelled the mutual termination, but typically he won't be there either. Once you've fired all them, you will also place an advert for the other positions. Okay, so to recap, fire all your coaching staff, you're going to hire them back in manually, and then just place adverts for the other positions. Head of youth development and assistant manager are obviously very important as well, so I'm going to hire them manually. Next step, we go into our staff search up here at the top. We're going to go new search. Now I have filters already saved for each of these, so this is what I'm going to be going with, or what I'm looking for. So we're going to be assistant manager, 2 attacking, 2 defensive, 2 fitness coach, 2 possession, 2 goalkeeping, and a head of youth development. Need to include him as well. So that's quite an important role. We hit OK. So first off, assistant manager. So these are the stats I like to look for my assistant manager. So these are the 2 guys that have come up. For me, I know who Brian Kidd is, so I'm going to approach and sign him straight away. And then you just work down through each of these. For the attacking coach, as we can see here, determination, motivating, level of discipline. Those 3 stats will be in every single coaching role, whether it be attacking, defending, goalkeeper, fitness. And this search is for attacking tactical, so we'll just hit attacking to get the highest in attacking. And then if you hold shift and hit tactical, you can actually sort by 2 columns. And here we go. Pep and Linders is going to be our attacking coach. Now, if you've got a pen and paper, like I do, if you want to write down each of the coaching categories and then just put the name of the coach that you hired for that spot, it'll come in handy later on when you get to assign all these coaches. And you just rinse and repeat that for every position. So now that you've all your staff hired, or at least all the contracts are sent out, what you're looking for is to get 9 coaches. So that would be 10 altogether, including you as manager. So that'll give you 1 coach for each category. However, at the moment, we cannot request extra coaches for the first team. So you've got to wait until this is 7 out of 7. And then you come up here and you request extra coaches. And then they should give you usually up to 9. If you're lucky, you can get 10. While we're waiting for those contracts to be accepted, what we do next is we go into training and we go into rest. For me, it's kind of the standard that you will go no pitch work when a player's at low level fitness. This is to reduce injuries and kind of give them more time to get back to full fitness without draining them while they're already drained. And then we have normal. And then for the last one here, where they're full fitness, peak condition, we want to double the intensity for the training. Our next step is going to be to set up the schedules. Now for preseason, you want 3 schedules. You want a boot camp week, which will be for no matches, and it's just very heavy, very intensive preseason training. Then you're going to have a training schedule for 1 match and a training schedule for 2 matches. That's going to be your preseason setup. So I'm going to set up those schedules and I'm going to show you them once they're done. Now, so I have my 3 schedules all made. We have boot camp, we have preseason 1 match and preseason 2 matches. To give you a little look, see what they look like. Here we go. As you can see, the orange here is quite intensive, so I don't have 2 orange days in a row. And at the end of the week, we obviously like to give the players a little bit of rest. I'll put an extra recovery in there as well. So that'll be boot camp, and they've no matches. This is typically for the first week or second week or both of your preseason, depending on how long your preseason is going to be. For 1 match, again, as you can see, the very heavy intensive days, we don't have 2 of them in a row. You got to include after a match review, recovery, the team bonding. You can put it earlier in the week if you wish, but I like it here because it slots in nicely. And of course, the endurance. Preseason, you want endurance every week because you got to get that fitness up. We're starting to bring in tactical familiarity.
Well, my first year, I played in.
So we have match tactics here, match practice, and then finally for the two matches, this is what we're going for. Again, we have that endurance. It's just before a match, so a little bit risky, but it's been working for me. This is what I go for. And we're starting to bring routines as well to get the set pieces done. So those are our schedules. Now, our next step, small little tip, go to staff, responsibilities, and match. What you want to make sure here is that this is not ticked. Backroom staff arrange friendly matches for the first team. Turn that off and always click confirm. The reason for that is your assistant manager, even though we don't have one right now, loves making friendlies. And you end up with 8-9 friendlies and it's just too much. You have 2 or 3 a week. So we turn that off. Next step, go into your schedule. As you can see, we've got lots of friendlies here and we want to cancel them all. So now we have no friendlies, nice clean slate. We can start creating our own friendlies. So what you do, come down here, arrange friendlies, change this to multiples. So this is our first game of the season. I usually like to work backwards from there. So the week before our first game, we'll have 1 game. Then we'll have 2. Oh, make sure to cancel this one. That's dodgy. Now let's arrange these friendlies. For me, this is kind of personal preference, but for me, I don't like playing Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City in preseason and getting absolutely walloped. So you want nice, easy games, but not too easy, where they get a bit of a workout and also get the morale up, where kind of you're expecting to win, but not too easily. We'll confirm them. And then we're going to arrange a couple more. So remember, as I said, first game of the season is here. The week before, we've 1 match. Then we're going to have 2, and then 1. That's all you need. Next stop is we need to input our schedules because we have our friendlies in place now. So what we'll do for the first week, we've no match organized. So in this one, we're going to put our boot camp in. For this one, we're going to put our 1 match. For this one, 2 matches. For this one, 2 matches. For this one, 1 match again. And there we have all our training schedules put in. Our 1 match, 2 match, 2 match, 1 match, and our boot camp. And then there's our first game of the season where we'll switch over to our regular training, which will be a different video. Now, as I said, we didn't go all the way through to the end, but it's very important to keep an eye on those coach numbers. Once you hit that maximum, whether it's 6 out of 6, 7 out of 7, make sure you request more coaches, get to that magical 9 number, and then you have space to get the rest of the lads in. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was somewhat useful for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you don't have a question, just, I don't know, put an emoji or something in there just to kind of feed the algorithm and help my channel to start growing. This is my first video and I do appreciate you watching. Have a good day, guys. Thank you very much.